If you've ever heard of Grant Cardone, then you may love him or you already hate him. So let's see if the 10x rule is either a mashup of work hard, hustle, and one day you'll reach success, or actually worth reading. When love comes in, Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Alice and you're watching on LeLifestyle. This week we have another book review and we're jumping on Grant Cardone's back to see if he's all talk, no action, or the contrary. So before we jump into the 10x rule, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the author. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you either love Grant Cardone or you hate him. So there's an initial phase, I believe. I personally follow him on Instagram, and yes, in the beginning, the amount of times that he posts every single day can be annoying, but once you actually stop and listen to what he has to say, then I don't think you'll mind them that much. I actually listened to his podcast a little while and basically got convinced of his teachings, we could say. So that's when I decided to buy the 10x rule, and another book that he has is called Sell or Be Sold. I can tell you that 100% Grant Cardone is not all talk and no action. He has done the work, he shows it on his social media, and he explains to you how you could get there too with his books. And that's why I really think that the 10x rule is an actual rule that we should all follow. Let's jump in. This is what the book looks like. Okay, pretty cool, simple, but in your face. So let's see what Grant explains the book as. So it says the 10x rule guides you toward the frame of mind that all successful people share. Aim 10 times higher than you are right now, and if you come up short, you'll still find yourself further along than if you had maintained your life's current status quo. The 10x rule teaches you how to reach goals that you previously thought were impossible, correctly set goals and guarantee their achievement, create an unprecedented levels of happiness and satisfaction in every area in your life, use fear as fuel to move you into action, get everything you want and never have to settle, dominate your competition, and become a role model for success. Whoa. When you read the back, you're like, oh my God, that's so amazing. But then the thought creeps behind your mind where you may be thinking, is he overselling the book? Is this actually what I'm gonna learn? Or is it all just paraphrasing of all the other teachings from different books? So just to give you an idea of what the book is like, each chapter is maybe between 5 to 10 pages long, which personally I find very short. And at the end of each chapter, there's like a questionnaire. Basically, Grant just asks you questions so you could go back and review the chapter and grasp the information better, and so it sticks to your brain and you remember it. So I personally love these exercises at the end of each chapter because it made me want to go back and review the topics, the teachings. Because the chapters are so short, I find it that he just goes right to the point. There's no fluff, there's nothing extra. He just tells you what he needs to tell you, and that's it, moving on. Let me share with you a few chapters that I really appreciated, and they resonated with me a lot. Other chapters, other topics may be more useful for you depending on where you are. But the first chapter I want to share with you guys is chapter 8. It's called Average is a Failing Formula. Why would anyone favorite a chapter called Average is a Failing Formula? Well, one, because I felt average for the longest time and actually was disgusted by myself. Yes, I'm using that word because the feeling was so strong. I hated being average and actually thought that everyone else around me felt the same way and was struggling to get out. But seeing it in a book in a way where the person is telling me that average is not okay made me think that other people are okay being average. And I was just a weirdo feeling like it wasn't okay being average. So when I read that, it just comforted me, because that's when you realize that, hey, I've felt this way for a long time. It's fine, but it's not just the feeling. Then comes the action, and basically the rest of the book showed me what I could do every single day with my actions to get out of this average failing formula. The other chapter I want to share with you guys is chapter 13. It's called Go All In. And I mean, we've done a video on commitment last week. So of course, I really love this one, because he just tells you to overcommit, go all in. There's no turning back. This is the video from last week. Make sure you watch it and you'll understand why I really like this the most, because you really need to go all in and be 100% in your mind committed to whatever the project is you're working on, or else you're just gonna fall short from anything that you decide to work on. Grant really just wants you to understand that you need to overcommit, over-deliver to your customers, to your salespeople, to your employees, to your business partners, because it just gets you out of your comfort zone, and you're no longer thinking based on fear that you won't be able to reach that goal. If you overcommit 110% or more to something, then you are guaranteed to reach it and maybe even surpass whatever you're trying to do. And the final chapter I wanted to talk to you guys about was chapter 19, where he says customer service is the wrong target. I mean, when I read this chapter, it was mind-blowing, because it's customer service is the number one thing that companies teach their employees, saying that customer satisfaction is the number one goal of the company. And Grant basically just takes that back and says, nope, that's not the most important thing a company should be focusing on. You need to focus on having the best product, best service beforehand, before going ahead and making sure that your customers are satisfied. Because if you do have the best in all the industry, product and service wise, then your customer will have nothing to complain about. So we need to refocus our business mind towards what's the most important, and then work on the other stuff. Not saying that customer service is not important. It is. It's just focusing mainly on satisfying customers after the sale is not the most important. It's not the main goal. The main goal is to have the best product service and have people purchasing it. Really, this book is not like a self-help book. It's more of if you own a business or an entrepreneur, that it's more geared towards that person, because most of the examples in the book he gives are based on businesses, running a business, having employees, having customers, selling a product or service. So yes, you could apply the teachings to your own life if you need to, but basically the 10x part. But most of the other stuff that he explains is only relatable to the entrepreneurs, to the business-minded people, and those who have a business or a product or a service to sell. Quickly put, the key takeaway from this book is to dream 10 times bigger, so you could take 10 times more action towards those goals, more action than what you thought you needed to put into it, so that no matter what you do, even if you fall short from reaching your goals, it's okay, because you'll still be successful despite it. Just like that saying that says, shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. So I was discussing the book with a friend today, and she mentioned how the 10x formula, the 10x rule, is so different from what the textbooks teach us on how to set goals. And she was wondering how it could be a contradicting factor when people are like, oh, well, I need to make my goals reachable, realistic, and so on and so forth. And that's when I say the 10x rule is for you to be able to set goals higher than what you thought, so that you could remove the fear factor from your mind and basically go out and do the work needed to get that goal. And why it is not contradicting to the textbook goal setting formula, it's actually supporting and making it better, because most people who decide to set their goals and decide that it needs to be realistic, they will actually shrink their goal to a smaller size and say, this is the realistic version of my goal. And basically, they won't even do anything because it's so small, because it's still in their comfort zone. They're like, oh, I could do that any day. I could start that tomorrow, and always push it to the next day and the next day and the next day. When your goal and dream is 10 times bigger, you're actually scared not to get it. You really want that to happen. So you'll do anything, you'll overcommit, you'll go all in to get to that goal. And if you don't, it's okay, because you did more than anyone else could have. So guys, that's it for this week. If you got any value from this video, please click the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. If you want to read the 10x rule, I'll leave a link down in the description. I don't think Indigo sells it, but I'll double check. If they do, the link will be there. If you want me to review Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone as well, let me know. We post videos every week, so don't forget to subscribe. Bye!